The Drive for Innovation earlier this year pulled into Detroit where we did the teardown of the Chevy Volt, and we pulled the inverter out. We're now sort of like in the inverter capital of the world, Fort Worth, Texas, at Excel Tech with Gary and Barry. Welcome to the Drive for Innovation.
Glad to be here.
So, first question, we're in Fort Worth. I don't see the mechanical bull. This is supposed to be like...
That's down at Billy Bob's. It's about 10 miles from here. We can drive the Volt down there and take a look at it.
Fantastic. Okay, power electronics is going to be with us forever. And you guys right now are focusing on the solar business. But before we talk about the technology, tell us about how you started this company, how old the company is, where that inspiration came from.
We started this company back in about 1988. Obviously, a few years before that, spent 3 years in a garage trying to build our first inverter. But in those early days, Barry and I met at Motorola. I was a design engineer. He was in research and development, or in research rather. And we just got together. We'd owned an airplane together and got along. So we decided we could design some things that the marketplace seemed to need.
I worked at Motorola for 17 years before I left Motorola, so I was part of the technical staff. I was recognized having a number of patents, and Motorola does a good job of recognizing their technical innovators, but it's not the same thing as saying, gee, I've invented something, I brought it to market, and then you want to benefit directly from it. And really, I think that that's what drove me, is that, gee, I think I have some pretty good ideas, and I think I could make them really good products. And once you do that, you really want to have the direct benefits of it, rather than, I don't mean to minimize this, but a pat on the back and a good job, and we got more stuff for you to do down the road. And there were challenges, no doubt about it, but it's not quite the same thing.
Right.
Really, from the day we sold our first one, it took about 3 years. It's almost incredible. You hear that number spouted about all the time. It was actually 2 years and 9 months when we turned a profit. So
let's dive into the design and your technology. Talk to us about inverter technology today, and all these innovations that you guys referenced earlier.
It basically started with a 1,000-watt inverter module, and that fundamentally is a schematic for all of those products. And so this product is modular. As you can kind of see, it's just a board out of the card edge, and it plugs in. If you can take a look at a system over there, you can see where there are 1,000-watt modules, and you can plug in as many as you want to get to as many watts as you want.
When we started the business, we had the benefit of working for a Motorola, and so I spent some time when I worked at Motorola working, in addition to their research, I spent some time working with their production and factory technical operations. And so I got to see a lot of the great things that Motorola did, and I also got to see some things that limited what their capabilities were. And when we started our first factory and said, we're going to go build this stuff, and I worked out a plan that said, if you just buy these 17 resistors, we can build everything in the world. We don't have to buy the chip placement machine that's got 134 slots, because every engineer, when he has a new design, says, I need a 12K resistor, and we only have an 11 or a 15. I said, we're not going to do that. You're going to build it with this, and that's all you get. And so as a result, we set up our factory and the design of the product from day one to be able to build the flexibility into the product to start with.
We build everything we make from that limited set. For instance, our chip machines, and we build these all here in Fort Worth, Texas, are set up one way, and they never change. The parts that are on those machines build absolutely every product we've got. And we sell in excess of 100,000 different possible model numbers. So the mix is just mind-boggling. We buy about 5,000 different parts, but we sell 100,000 different model numbers.